Hey everyone, today we're going to take a look at the Marvel Legends Bloodstorm 6-inch action figure from the Strange Tales wave. This one comes in the new box packaging with that Strange Tales logo up top, a plastic hook for hanging it on the shelves. Figure is now once again in that clear plastic window, and the Strange Tales logo also very clear up front. To the bottom of the box we have the product information. Onto the side, very cool artwork of Bloodstorm. Down to the back of the box, the same artwork, description of the character, rest of the figures in the wave, and more product information at the bottom. And finally on that last side, a smaller version of that artwork and Bloodstorm's name clearly printed over here. So let's get this figure open. Bloodstorm is on the plastic bubble. She comes with two alternate hands with the fingers splayed, an alternate head sculpt, and the Blackheart Build-A-Figure torso and tail. She comes with two alternate hands, and these ones have their fingers splayed out, cast in a darker skin tone plastic, hinging in and out. And of course, these hands swap onto the figure just fine. Bloodstorm also comes with an alternate head, but let's zoom in to that later on when we look at the details on the figure. For the most part, the figure has a lot of reuse once again. Strangely, besides the head sculpt, her torso is new. The jacket overlay also looks familiar. I can't say for sure if it's reuse, but the sleeved arms are from figures like the Netflix Jessica Jones, and the rest of her lower body is from the original Punk Storm. It's disappointing in this day and age that we're still stuck with the single hinged elbows and these impossibly skinny legs. Hasbro should have just redone her arms and legs, because I'm quite sure sleeved arms and legs in jeans would go a long way in terms of reusing it for future action figures. Stepping away from the disappointment of the outdated body, her head sculpts are actually really nicely done. This time Hasbro has got the proportions right. The head actually looks like the correct size relative to her body. Both expressions are also spot on. I like that we have the option of a calm face together with one that's really snarling. Both expressions are really lifelike thanks to the great sculpting work and very sharp paint. The blacks and reds for her eyes are really nicely applied. The shading around her eyes also brings forth her vampiric nature. And her lip color is also a very nice shade. The whites of her teeth over here on the snarling face do stand out really well, as do the two tiny fangs on her calm face. Both head sculpts also have her golden earrings painted on, and the hair sculpt is also a nice variation between the two heads. The hair is cast in a white plastic with a grey wash to bring out all the texturing and detail. I like how on the snarling one, the hair is flailing in the wind, capturing the aggression, while on the calm head, the hair is tied up and falls neatly. And of course, the calm head also pops on just fine. So here's a good example of lazy reuse not really working out. The jacket has nice leather texture on it, with silver paint for the zips and buttons, but her arms has that weird gloss. They're both black plastics, but the inconsistency is quite distracting. Since the arms are from an older mold, they also don't have that same leathery texture on them. So just doing a spin around, I just want to say that I really dislike how the leather jacket has been executed on this figure. Sliding her jacket off just to have the closer look at her retooled torso. This is a new sculpt for her bra. It's got 4 straps on each side and nice stitching detail down the middle as well. Now comparing it with the Punk Storm, her lower torso is now 2 separate pieces, with this belt overlay over here. The belt is a nice touch, cast in black plastic, silver paint for the buckle, as well as the painted X logo over here. I like how this looks, but the overall execution when put together looks really weird. It's strange to have the belt sit just above the belt loops of her jeans. And since this is a floating piece, it doesn't always want to stay in place. Her lower torso is retooled because now it has a waist swivel that ends up looking really ugly. The crotch piece is hollow over here. So once you put the torso and the crotch piece together with this strange floating belt, it just looks off and really terrible once you use that waist swivel. I'm tempted to just glue down this belt piece and never use this waist swivel ever. But that still doesn't solve the problem of it looking weird, sitting above her belt loops. Now we come down to her legs, and it's also reused once more, looking terribly skinny. It's the same grey plastic as her bra, and this goes down to the black colored boots. Also separate plastic pieces for very clean separation of the colors. However, it has no calf swivel, so it's a wasted opportunity. And this old sculpt and tooling is obvious when you see those pins still visible on the sides. And I do think I have a QC issue over here. The pin for her left knee isn't inserted all the way so you can see how it's sticking out. So it's just really frustrating when Hasbro has the opportunity to retool proper legs in jeans and a better way to execute these sleeved arms. It would have been the perfect way to release Bloodstorm. For articulation, her head is on a ball hinge, so it does go 360, as well as getting a little bit of sideways tilting, looking down a lot, as well as up. Swivel hinge at the shoulders that goes 360, coming out quite a good bit. Swivel just above the elbow that acts like a bicep swivel, as well as only a single hinge at the elbow, getting not even 90 degrees and going out and in. Swivel hinge at the wrist for 360, going in and out. Mid-torso ball joint that goes sideways and also lets you swing left and right, getting a lot of backward bend but just a little bit of forward bend. We have the ugly waist swivel that just breaks up the whole sculpt. Ball joints at the hips that go out, very good range and no problems forward and backward. Swivel at the thigh for 360 spin. Double jointed knees with the pin still visible, and they do seem a little bit stiff, but they do get you the full range. Ankle tilt that goes up that much, as well as down, and pivoting inwards and outwards. And since we have so many Storm figures released so far, let's do a couple of head swaps. So here's the Punk Storm head on the Bloodstorm body, and the two Bloodstorm heads on the Punk Storm body and on the X Uniform body. Here's the X Uniform head on the Bloodstorm body. The skin tones are all slightly different but fudgeable. Here's a classic Storm head on the Bloodstorm body with the Bloodstorm heads on the other two bodies. Bloodstorm head sits a little loose on this one, with the classic head also looking a little oversized for this body and sitting a bit tight on the neck joint. And here is the Black Suit Storm's head on the Bloodstorm's body. I think the skin tones are a little too different. And not forgetting the X-Men 97 Storm head swap, although I do think the skin tones are also a little too different. Bloodstorm stands at about 6¼ inches to the top of her head, and that's about 16 centimeters. If you want to go to the top of her mohawk, that's almost 6½ inches, and that's under 16½ centimeters. For size comparisons, here she is with a couple of X-Men. And here she is with Morbius, Dracula, Blade, and Goblin Queen. And for comparisons with other lines, here she is with G.I. Joe Classified Series. Bloodstorm perfectly encapsulates the Hasbro of today, capable of amazing work like the head sculpts, but hampered by inexplicable choices when it comes to new body tooling and thoughtless reuse of outdated parts. I have no particular nostalgia for Bloodstorm, so I'm seriously considering selling her off. Please like and share this video, let me know what you think in the comments below, subscribe to my channel, and hit that super thanks button. Thanks for watching, take care, and stay safe.